So the news just hasn't gotten bad enough, quickly enough, and that's keeping the markets up, keeping us up throughout the day, and finishing the day pretty strong. The leaders today were definitely high dividend, strong companies that are going to be around, that are going to produce cash flow. And it seems like the sentiment and the philosophy of the general market is shifting out of speculative positions, into more safer, long-term dividend paying stocks. For example, GM up very nicely today. Apple very nicely today, more nicely than GM, which is kind of shocking because they have so much China exposure, high PE, high multiple, and they've already announced that their quarter is going to be shot, and they've got a lower dividend than GM. That's just the numbers. Obviously, Apple's a tech company. There's a million other reasons to prefer Apple to GM, but those are the kinds of companies that are doing well. Oil destroyed. There's no bad news really today, but oil's still not doing well. The whole sector was down over 1% today. Oil's just not a place to be right now, it seems, despite, some of these companies being absurd PE ratios, very high dividend yields. That said, there's going to be an OPEC meeting, 2 OPEC meetings, where hypothetically they could do a 1 million barrel a day cut. That could send oil prices up. But here's the thing, this is a decrease in oil demand environment. People don't want oil as much, not as many flights going on, not as many people taking road trips, not as many people traveling, so there's less demand for oil. At the same time, there's a supply issue. Everyone's pumping out oil. They're like, oil's going to be gone. We got to make our money now. Not a good time to be involved with oil. If you want something energy, look at Jinko Solar. It's the #1 biggest solar panel producer in the world. They're based in China. So the Chinese government is going to give them that tailwind. They want them to be around. They want them to sell to countries outside of China. China's got to start, getting their companies to sell their products outside of China, not just produce in China, and then sell in the US by American companies. So with continued innovation and government tailwinds and a massive energy problem in China, expect Jinko Solar to go up. So if you want to buy stock, that is one. Overall, we had a lack of bad news today. Market stayed strong. We obviously, that said, death in California, more deaths in Seattle, but it's not bad enough quickly enough. That's the thing. In order for the market to react, we have to keep getting bad news fast, up from 1,000 cases a day in China to 1,500 cases a day to 1,800 cases a day to 2,000, it's got to be like that, but it's not. It's like, get a couple more cases here. Italy's closing down schools, which the market was sold off for 30 minutes, but fuck 30-minute time intervals. But then quickly rebounded because that's honestly a good thing. Less spread potential. So markets are feeling okay. Definitely still choppy waters. It feels like everything is fair value right now. Obviously before the coronavirus pullback, things were feeling pretty expensive. That's why I was not only just saying coronavirus, but we got coronavirus and prices are high, so don't buy. So now prices have come down a lot, about 10% across the board. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good to start buying. I'd still remain in cash. Coronavirus is going to be gone in a couple months, most likely. Tops. Except maybe Iran. Iran might be in for a tough run. They're letting out 54,000 prisoners out of jail. Would not want to be in a jail in Iran. But so market feels fair value right now. Companies feel very fairly priced. I'm still hoping Apple falls a little bit more. Apple's a little on the expensive end for me, but it's Apple, so if you want to buy it, it's not a bad stock to buy. So let's see how the market plays out. Hopefully we level off and we stay static at these levels for a couple days. Not a whole lot of action upward or downward. Today we had a lot of upward action. Tomorrow we could have a lot of downward action. Choppy waters. We are still in choppy waters, but hopefully we get to the bay. And in the bay, the water is calm. So until then, until we get to the bay, well, I'll still talk to you tomorrow. Even if we're in fucking Hurricane Katrina, But peace.